and salutations. I have made the pilgrimage from the Hall of Veterans as George Washington once forded the Delaware. Steely in my resolve, prepared to battle unto my dying breath for the rights...
Lawyers here.
Hey, Denise. For the rights of free men.
Hey, Carl Edzenbach.
Rights that were squeezed from British oppression like water from a stone. That all men are created equal, free from the jackboot, tyranny, and gulag magic tricks of nameless, faceless committees.
Hey, hope they didn't wake you.
Out of my way, tool of the state, for I am come to comfort and counsel my client, even as you seek to prison him.
Whatever you're gonna do, you got 30 minutes.
Don't dictate terms to me, you rogue. For the law is a light on a hill, calling to its breast all those in search of justice. To wit, this poor mottled wretch in front of me.
Sam Melia, a family man and loving father of a baby girl with another on the way, was pinned down in a post office and arrested by counter-terrorism police for posting stickers. Yes, you heard that right. In a country where there are murderers and rapists running amok, the counter-terrorism task force is tackling down fathers for putting up stickers. But that's not even the shocking part of this story. The most shocking part is the fiasco that occurred in court for this trial. For a comprehensive breakdown of everything that transpired and for explanations on why this trial was extremely unfair, I'd advise to go over on Odyssey and look at Mark Collette's video on Sam's trial. But I'll go over some of the main points. For a bit of prerequisite knowledge, Sam Melia was a part of an initiative known as the 100 Handers Project, and whilst he was a part of that project, they printed and produced stickers with particular messages on it, such as "Reject white guilt. It's okay to be white. We will be a minority in our homeland by 2066. White lives matter. Stop anti-white rape gangs. And love your nation." They placed these stickers in various places, similar to how one would stick things like missing animal posters or other promotional material about. This was seen as an offense in the eye of the court, and so they deployed the counter-terrorism task force for Sam. And yes, that does seem like a blatant overreach of police force for a man who put up stickers and didn't hurt anyone in the process, whereas murderers and rapists received better treatment when brought in for questioning. And if you thought that this story was already shocking, let's look at some of the facts about the case that came out in court. Number 1. The stickers in question were completely lawful and legal. These stickers did not break any laws and were perfectly legal for Sam to distribute. Number 2. The stickers were entirely truthful. All of the slogans and things said on the stickers were truthful, and the prosecution insisted that the truth is no defense. Let's remember this phrase for later. Number 3. Sam was being arrested on the charge that his intention for putting up these stickers was to incite racial hatred. The prosecution's evidence of this? They had none. And yes, you heard that correctly as well. They had no evidence that Sam put up these stickers to incite racial hatred. Throughout the trial, not one piece of evidence was brought forward that could tie racial hatred to these stickers. Now at this point, you're probably thinking that this is utterly ridiculous, and surely such a meritless case would immediately be discarded, and the person in question found innocent. However, this wasn't the case. In fact, the trial went ahead, and at the end of it, a jury unanimously decided that Sam was guilty of the aforementioned offense.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
Now, speculations about the validity of that jury verdict aside, how in the world did this happen? How did they convince a jury to convict Sam without a single shred of evidence? Well, if you want the full answer, you should check out Mark Collette's video, where he breaks down exactly what happened in that case and what led to Sam's ultimate conviction. But basically, the prosecution brought forward evidence that did not pertain to the case at hand, but instead was intended to slander and smear Sam's name before court, so that the jury could see that it was possible for Sam to do such a thing. And that was it really. So what sort of things did they bring forward? I'll read the following from the PA website. Circumstantial evidence. So what evidence did the prosecution rely upon? They referenced a picture of Adolf Hitler in a garage that Sam and his friends rented to exercise in during the COVID-19 lockdown. The picture of Hitler was a funny picture, placed in an amusing position. Reference a book written by and a canvas featuring Sir Oswald Mosley. Both were owned by Laura, who admitted to this in her testimony. After looking through Sam's entire message history dating back many years, they found 4 examples of slurs, averaging at 1 per year. None of these words were said to anybody of another race, but were communicated in private messages, mostly in humor. Yes, so they dug through 5 years' worth of messages from Sam's life, and they found a few instances of racial slurs being used. They also found a picture of Adolf Hitler and a book and canvas featuring Oswald Mosley, which were owned by his wife Laura, who stated this in her testimony. Apparently, this is what warrants the use of counterterrorism, forcefully arresting Sam and dragging him into court to face charges for putting up stickers. Now, the slurs in question were said to friends in private. They were perhaps also taken out of context and presented as proof of hatred in the courts. The way something is read and presented can significantly change the tone of the sender.
No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that! She didn't say it like that!
Imagine, for instance, that everything that you said was held to a magnifying glass and scrutinized for issues by lawyers whose job it was to find you guilty. You'd find that they could criticize anyone with that in mind. What's more, Sam's defense also presented several pieces of evidence against his charge of inciting racial hatred. Once more, I read from the PA website. Sam's defense evidence. The 100-handers archive contained a rule which advised not to put the stickers on any private property, and not to put them anywhere where they could be considered threatening or intimidatory. There were multiple streams played of Sam saying publicly that he had no intention to incite hatred, and the stickers were created to raise awareness and start a conversation. In the 100-handers changelog, Sam removed sticker number 188 because it bordered on incitement. The log read, on the 1st of the 9th, 2019, addition of 13 new stickers, removal of number 0188, as it bordered on incitement. Its use is not condoned by the 100-handers. Sam archived each sticker with its own personal number, writing in the archive that he had done this so that nobody could create any illegal or threatening stickers and link them to him, as that kind of language is not condoned. There were multiple private and public messages from Sam, dating back many years, stating that the 100-handers was created to raise awareness and spread a message, and that there was no intention to cause hatred or violence. This is all clear evidence of Sam stating, publicly and privately, that he had no intention to incite hatred, the crime he was being accused of. There was not a single piece of evidence indicating that Sam intended to incite racial hatred. However, despite all of this, the jury still chose to convict Sam in the end, and this has been a trend recently, and precedents are being set by the courts. When it comes to crimes that are violent in nature, or to people who are carrying illegal contraband of a very worrying nature, these people get off scot-free, whereas people who have certain political views seem to be vilified. Sven Longshanks was arrested because they claimed that his radio show was meant to incite racial hatred, and he was jailed for several years in prison, and this is a man who has severe health issues as well. James Costello was another who was arrested for supposedly attempting to incite racial hatred, and he was given 5 years in prison as well. His case was also investigated by counterterrorism. Meanwhile, let's look at some other cases where migrants and pedophiles come before the courts and see what sort of sentencing and treatment they get. So let's take a look at some comparisons. Daniel Penny, 24, put a homeless felon in a fatal chokehold to stop him from attacking people on his New York train. His bail, $200,000. Last week, Mohammed Izzedine, 22, broke into a New York home and then raped a woman at knife point. He was released without bail. Nottingham killer Valdo Colocane could be eligible for release in 3 years under terms of hospital order, as it emerges he was reported to police for attacking 2 people weeks before Rampage but was not arrested. Outrage as 8 of 9 men convicted of gang rape of a 15-year-old in Germany receive no prison time. A 15-year-old German girl was raped by a gang of migrants in Hamburg Park. The trial just ended. Only one of 9 rapists was sent to jail, and the sentence is only for 2.5 years. From Mark Collette's Telegram. Let's compare and contrast how the British tabloids talk about a foreign triple murderer who killed British people versus how they talk about a non-violent family man who quoted objectively provable statistics a bit too loudly. The quiet boy from a hard-working Christian family who became a triple killer. Valdo Colocaine did not dabble with drink and drugs, says fellow housemate, but he ended up knifing 3 to death. Far-right activists ran downloadable library of reprehensible white supremacist stickers. Eoin Prizeman, 35, who uploaded a video of a man raping a young boy to his own Facebook page and was caught with 276 videos of child abuse, has been given a fully suspended sentence. Meanwhile, teacher jailed indefinitely for refusing to call a boy a girl. Enoch Burke, who wouldn't use trans people's pronouns, won't be released until he stays away from his old school, and the country is behind him. Iraqi duo who urinated on and gang-raped woman on cruise to remain in Sweden as court says they have integrated. Devastated parents of murdered Barnard College student Tessa Majors watch her killer get minimum 14-year sentence for knifing her to death as he tried to steal her iPhone in New York City Park. Meanwhile, racist University of Kentucky student 22 is indicted on 6 charges after calling black schoolmate a N-word 200 times before drunkenly assaulting cop, faces 13 years in jail. UK. British court sentenced a Pakistani rapist to 4 years for raping an English girl aged 13. The same court sentenced an Englishman to 5 years for criticizing migrants and Jews on his web. Courts exist to punish white people for speaking out against crimes being done to us. New Jersey college student Jillian Ludwig, 18, dies after being hit by stray bullet from thug who was arrested last year for firing into a car with children and freed due to mental illness. Despite raping 11-year-old girl, Afghan migrant allowed to remain in Germany. Meanwhile, German bill seeks deportation of migrants who express anti-Semitism. 9-year-old Swedish rape victim in a coma, suspect granted residence permit. A 9-year-old Swedish girl was raped and left for dead on a playground by an Ethiopian migrant who had just obtained a permanent residence permit. The little girl is still in a coma. Quiz. Who do you think Canada approved the citizenship for? A. Talented teen surfer, Texas-born Erin Brooks, whose dad has Canadian citizenship and mom born and raised in Montreal. Or B. Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who has ties to extremists, terrorist groups, and tried to forge his way into Canada illegally twice. Well, teen surfing prodigy Erin Brooks, Canadian citizenship request denied by feds. So clearly there is a disparity happening here, and this sort of injustice should resonate with everyone. For those on the right, it is clear that you will be persecuted for your political views, regardless of whether you are truthful and lawful in your speech, and regardless of whether anyone is offended or hurt by your messages. For those on the left, there is clearly unequal and biased treatment happening here, which should be against your foundations. And if you're simply a human being who thinks that if someone is being lawful and truthful, then they shouldn't be found guilty, and much less have been pinned and arrested by counterterrorism, then you should stand with Sam. So what does standing with Sam entail? For one thing, share this video, and share Mark's video, to as many people as possible. Tell as many people about this injustice, and get as many people as possible talking about it both online and in the real world. Consider sending Sam a message through the PA website, or perhaps through Mark's email, which he shares at the beginning of each of his videos. Show him that he has your support. There's a page up to donate to Sam also. But above all, we must push back against the draconian tyranny that is being imposed upon us, or else the state will have absolute power over us, and more innocent and good people like Sam Melia will have the book thrown against them. I stand with Sam Melia, and I ask that you do too.